So what tried and true Disney World places, locations, and beloved family traditions are kicking the bucket this year? We've got the details for you today on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we love going to Disney World and reliving those fun parts of previous vacations just like you do. Ordering the kitchen sink at Beaches and Cream and seeing how much we can conquer, making our new friends and family try Beverly at Club Cool. But with Disney World basically getting a complete overhaul in the next couple of years, are those traditions endangered? Today on DFB Guide, we're talking about 10 things that will be totally different in Disney World next year, and one that we're really hoping will be completely different. So let's dive in. First up, let's talk Galaxy's Edge. Even though that's a huge change already to Disney World's landscape, Galaxy's Edge itself is going to see some major changes in the next year. So Black Spire Outpost is going to continue to be the new thing at Disney well into 2020 because guess what, people? It's not even all open yet. Galaxy's Edge is opened on both coasts with kind of underwhelming attendance, and overall I think people were expecting a bit more out of this new land that was billed to be the most immersive experience yet at a Disney park. But let's think about that for a second. If Pandora in Animal Kingdom had opened without its headliner attraction, Flight of Passage, it probably would have been pretty underwhelming as well. So, let's not count out Galaxy's Edge yet because in the next few months it's going to see a major change. The biggest attraction, the thing that's really going to make you feel like you're part of the Star Wars story, isn't opening until December 5th, and it's Rise of the Resistance. It's going to be in a category of its own, you guys. I've been inside, I've seen the giant room with all of the stormtroopers. That thing is massive, and it's only part of the ride. So anyway, I'm a little kind of freaked out about how huge and massive this ride is going to be, and I know that it's actually going to make up for everything you think is lacking about Star Wars. I don't know that, but I'm assuming it's going to make up for everything we think is lacking about Star Wars Land so far. So Rise of the Resistance is probably going to be many Disney Worlders' first experience with a trackless ride. And if you're lucky enough to have traveled to an overseas Disney park, this is the tech behind Winnie the Pooh in Tokyo and the Remy attraction in Disneyland Paris, which is coming to Epcot soon. Mystic Manor at Hong Kong Disneyland also has that trackless ride system either, and it basically means that the ride vehicle moves freely, so you won't see any track, and it can go anywhere. You're not necessarily just on a straight ahead trajectory, which lends to the believability that a droid is driving you around a Star Destroyer. So that trackless ride bit is only part of the attraction. This ride is going to be several attractions in one. There's going to be 4 or 5 different ride systems, and you're actually going to transfer between them all. So if you want to read more about the Rise of the Resistance, head to DisneyFoodblog.com. We have a whole long post all about what you can expect from Rise of the Resistance, the different ride systems that we currently know about, what characters you're going to see and interact with on the ride, and a really, really special surprise that's going to happen at the end. So there are going to be a few storyline and ride spoilers in there, but it's going to be a completely different attraction. I think it's going to make a huge change to the landscape of Galaxy's Edge, and especially how people think about Galaxy's Edge. So that's one thing that even though Galaxy's Edge is a giant change to Disney World already, it itself is going to see huge changes in the next year as well. So that's going to be totally different in a year. All right, second thing we want to talk about are those random restaurant overhauls. So Beaches and Cream, like I mentioned at the top of this video, Beaches and Cream is getting an overhaul itself. It's closed right now till sometime in the winter. We're not sure if it's going to be December or January that it's going to reopen, but Beaches and Cream over in Beach Club Resort. I just talk about it like you guys all know what it is, but some of you don't. It is a great little soda shop, and little is the operative word because it's been tiny, but now they are actually expanding it. It's going to take over some of the space in the arcade next door. It's going to take over some other space as well. So it's going to be a little bit larger when it reopens, but they are going to try to keep that soda shop 1950s feel. But hopefully there'll be a few more tables and a few more places for you to order that kitchen sink with your family. Also, the Enchanted Rose Lounge is on its way. This is Meisner's Lounge over there in Grand Floridian Resort. So that's getting an overhaul to be a Beauty and the Beast themed bar and lounge over there. So that's going to be totally different for you next year as well. And then let's talk about the rest of Hollywood Studios after Galaxy's Edge. So it's been 2 long years since the Great Movie Ride closed, and the Chinese theater has just been a landmark with nothing going on inside. But actually, there's a lot going on inside. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to be opening in spring 2020. Now, at first they said fall of this year. Now we're bumped to spring 2020, so we'll see what happens. But this is another trackless ride that will take guests into a cartoon, and it's surprisingly the first ride at any Disney park to star Mickey Mouse himself. So Hollywood Studios is finally becoming a park known for its rides. For a while, it was feeling like a park full of stage shows, and it'll be good to get another super family-friendly ride into the mix here as well. So we've also got a brand new table service restaurant coming to Toy Story Land, and we're very excited for this one. While Woody's Lunchbox is adorable and tasty, there's just not enough seating or shade over there. And here's hoping the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue will have a menu that can match the level of cuteness so we don't end up with another Pizza Rizzo on our hands. I'm really hoping that that will be a great sort of institution and addition over there to Toy Story Land. So looking forward to that. All right, let's head over to Epcot. Now, we've been talking a lot about Epcot on the channel. Feels like every day there's a new change and a new overhaul announced for an Epcot attraction or land. So, massive changes to the park, especially Future World. We're not even going to be calling it Future World anymore. So, the front of Epcot is being divided up into 3 new neighborhoods: World Discovery, World Nature, and World Celebration. And I will tell you guys, I was in Epcot just a couple of days ago, and it's kind of sad. Like you walk into the front of Epcot and everything's behind walls. There's just all kinds of construction going on. But for those of you who have been writing to me and asking, should you still go to Disney World with all that construction? Yes, absolutely. Most of the rides are still open in Epcot. The things that are closed are probably not things that impacted your trip all that much anyhow. So you should still go, even though it's kind of sad to see all that stuff behind walls. Your actual activities in Epcot are not going to be hindered necessarily. But let's talk about those things that are going to be going away or overhauled. So Club Cool, along with Fountain View Cafe and the Character Spot, are already closed. So the Character Spot has a new temporary location in Interventions West, and a few of the characters are still meeting in the same location, but we've had no word on a temporary or future Starbucks location in the park. We've been told Club Cool will return in some capacity in the future, but there's no telling exactly what that will be or when, or if there will be free soda anymore. My guess is probably no, but we'll find out. Electric Umbrella, your favorite counter service restaurant that I know you guys all run to eat at, is also closing, and Mouse Gear will be relocating and most likely returning once the changes are complete. But the whole area around the Fountain of Nations is getting a complete overhaul, along with the entrance to the park, where we've already seen Leave a Legacy monoliths removed. So we're going to get a lot more shade, a new festival center, a newish fountain at the front of the park designed to look like the original Epcot fountain, and the thing probably none of us are ready for, a new Spaceship Earth. So we have very few details on what's going to happen with Spaceship Earth, but Disney did announce at the D23 convention that there will be new scenes, meaning some scenes are going away, and a new storyline that will change the focus from the history of communication to storytelling, and that will have a narrator guide us through each scene like we do now. So over in the future World Discovery, we'll have the new Guardians coaster, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, on the way, and the new restaurant Space 220 is going to be opening this year. Now let me clarify, Cosmic Rewind not opening this year, Space 220 opening this year. And while the Land and Seas pavilions are staying put, the new Moana-inspired attraction Journey of Water will be changing Future World West into World Nature. So lots of things happening over in Epcot. Right now, it's not that big a deal. Everything's still open except for Club Cool, Fountain View, and one side of the Character Spot. So not going to totally ruin your trip, but note that Electric Umbrella and Mouse Gear are closing soon. But again, all of the rides are open, the attractions are open. So if that helps you make your decision, great. All right, let's go back to World Showcase to the France Pavilion. So in the back of Epcot, we've got a few changes, although we think these will be less jarring of a transition than the whole of Future World being flipped upside down. So we're getting a whole new section of the France Pavilion, which has already started to look pretty different under the shadow of the Skyliner Towers. And on this new street, the Remy ride will be opening next summer. So this ride is currently in Disneyland Paris and might just bump France up to the best pavilion in Epcot if it wasn't already there for you guys. That's going to be a new family-friendly trackless ride ride again, like we said, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. People really, really like it over in Disneyland Paris. But if you don't care too much about a new ride, maybe you'll care about a new restaurant. So in addition to the Chefs de France, Monsieur Paul's and Léon, not to mention L'Artisan des Glaces, France is getting a creperie, which will be led by the same team that runs the other restaurants, so Jerome Bocuse and company. And we'll be getting both a table service and quick service option for that creperie. So basically 2 restaurants in one from a team of chefs we know to be excellent. So that'll be a really cool addition to the France Pavilion. Now, I'm just going to throw in here as a sideline that we're also getting that Mary Poppins attraction over in the UK, but since that's not going to be probably in the next year, it doesn't fit into this video, but I just wanted to remind you about it. All right, let's talk about the Skyliner. So that guy is opening this week. We've already seen a lot of reports from cast members who've been riding it, and it's going to seriously change how guests at a few resorts travel to and from those parks. So the gondola system will connect Art of Animation and Pop Century, Caribbean Beach Resort, and the new Riviera Resort with Hollywood Studios and Epcot's International Gateway on 2 Skyliner lines. There'll be plenty of rooms at all these resorts, but we imagine demand will go up once this new transportation option is in place, which will likely mean higher prices. So Caribbean Beach Resort has always been the cheapest moderate, but the Skyliner will make it much easier to get the parks from CBR. And CBR is the hub, so guests won't have to transfer onto different lines. They can go directly to Hollywood Studios and Art of Animation or to Epcot with a quick pass through Riviera right next door. So that'll make it super easy for CBR guests to get to either of those parks. That's awesome. Speaking of the Riviera Resort, we're going to have a brand new resort opening December 16th this year with lounges and character dining to boot. So Riviera is a DVC resort, Disney Vacation Club, so you can book larger 1 and 2 bedroom suites directly through Disney or rent Disney Vacation Club points. And it's located just next to Caribbean Beach Resort, so it'll be super easy to get between the resorts. So Caribbean Beach now has even more dining options, making it a contender for top moderate resort. We'll see what happens. All right, let's head over to Disney Springs. Now, there aren't huge changes happening in Disney Springs, but we're still seeing some new restaurants moving in and the return of Cirque du Soleil. So CityWorks will be opening later this year in the West Side, and that restaurant has other locations around the country. So we were able to check one out here in my town that I live in to get an idea and a preview of what we will find in Disney Springs. So CityWorks, many of their locations have very similar menus. So I ordered kind of all the stuff that tends to be on every menu, and I put a full review on the blog so you guys can go check it out. I ordered a lot of food and you can see sort of what I thought. It's standard American bar food, burgers, hearty shareable apps, things like that, and a large list of craft brews and other drinks. So it's going to be your standard sports bar kind of thing, and that makes sense because it's situated right there in the NBA experience in Disney Springs. So that one's going to be opening soon. It'll be a good family-friendly place to go. And then we've got the more health-conscious Beatrix also opening next year. That one, we're not quite sure where it's going. Some people say it's going where Bongos was. Some people say it's going over next to Splitsville. We're not quite sure yet where that one's going to end up. But Ample Hills will be opening its second Disney World location soon on the West Side. And that is, of course, the Brooklyn-based boutique ice cream company that has now expanded into California, but most of their locations are still in New York City. But they will have 2 in Disney World now. So that's probably going in where the Curl store is right now over there in Disney Springs, but that remains to be confirmed. Also, let's talk about Cirque. So tickets are already on sale for the new Cirque du Soleil show coming in April 2020, and La Nuba had its last show on New Year's Eve going into 2018, and the theater has been empty since then. So this time around, the show will feature Disney Animation. Animators teamed up with Cirque du Soleil to develop this brand new show, so it's going to be really family friendly. All right, let's head over to Bay Lake. That's going to be totally different in a year. So if you're staying at Wilderness Lodge next year, hoping for peace and quiet with a view free of construction, we've got bad news for you. Construction of the Reflections Resort is going to be well underway in about a year, as the new Disney Vacation Club property is expected to open in 2022. We haven't gotten too many details about this resort, but we have seen a few concept art pieces. The big news we want to tell you about it, though, is that Princess and the Frog themed restaurant. So this is going to be a lakeside dining option, or on the bayou, as Disney says, and will complement that resort's overall nature theme. We might not be getting a Tiana's place, but with any luck, we'll get a new place to grab some beignets. Now let's talk about those monorails. As we're headed over to the Magic Kingdom area, I want to let you know the monorails are getting a total overhaul. So the silver monorail has gotten a facelift inside and out, new seat coverings, vinyl instead of carpet covering the walls, new paint on the exterior, and we're expecting all of the monorails to get similar treatment. So cast members we just spoke to have told us that recently the green monorail is under the knife, but we'll see if that's not confirmed by Disney, but we will probably see those overhauls on all of those monorails as well, so that they're nice and fancy for the 50th anniversary in Walt Disney World coming soon. And so take the monorail over to Magic Kingdom, and we're going to talk about Tomorrowland. Now, the big news recently is that Tomorrowland just got its brand new signage. So there's a brand new sign in Tomorrowland. You'll have to let us know what you guys think about it. And the Magic Kingdom might not be undergoing any changes quite as big as the new Fantasyland overhaul, but Tomorrowland is going to be different once the Tron coaster opens in 2021. So the track pieces for this ride have popped up almost overnight. You can get a great view of the construction progress from the People Mover, but the construction isn't having a huge impact on things right now, besides keeping the railroad closed for a lengthy period. But in a year, this thing is going to be towering over Space Mountain. The ride already exists in Shanghai Disneyland, so we know pretty much what to expect. And honestly, the lighting alone from this thing is going to change Tomorrowland. So the new futuristic coaster should help out with that sleek new Tomorrowland feel that they're trying to create over there. Now, there's 10 ways that Disney World places, locations are going to be totally different next year, but we have one that we really want to be different, one that we're really hoping will be totally different in a year, and that is the Magic Kingdom and Grand Floridian Walkway. So you can't currently walk from the Polynesian Resort or the Grand Floridian Resort right to Magic Kingdom. You have to take a boat or the monorail. But recently a permit was filed that indicates that a walkway may be built between the Grand Floridian and the Magic Kingdom. So we're really hoping that comes to fruition. Construction is underway over there, and of course Disney hasn't confirmed that it's happening. They haven't said, yes, we're building a walkway, but everything seems to be pointing in that direction. So we're super excited about that, potentially completely changing your experience at Disney World in a year as well. So fingers crossed for that. So there's 10 things that will be totally different in a year in Disney World, and one that we're really hoping will be different. So we'd love to hear in the comments what you guys are thinking. What are you excited about seeing change in Disney World? What are you sad about seeing leave Disney World? Are there any family traditions that you've started that are going to be affected by these changes in Disney World? Let us know. We love to hear your family traditions and your stories in the comments. Thanks for listening, you guys, and thanks for watching. This is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.